What's up, guys? Welcome back to Triple C Media. So today what we're going to be doing is we're heading out to Florida. From North Carolina to Florida, what I found is a 85 FHP Mustang. I would say technically one owner because, after they sold it at the state auction, it went straight to this older fella. So far, he's a real nice guy. You know, I'm assuming that they sold the car probably late mid-90s, late 90s. What he did is he bought the car, and the first thing he done is he drove it a little bit, you know, and then he just stuck it in a barn or building warehouse like thing and let it sit. So it's been sitting, 20 some years, just sitting in this one place, and you can definitely tell by looking at it, it's got a ton of dust on it. But we're very excited. We're going to get out there and we're about to hit the road and we're going to see what we're running. All right, guys, so we finally made it down to Haines City, Florida. We left out yesterday around 7:30 p.m. and it got us here around 6:30 this morning, and it was a pretty long trip, first time doing it. Right now we're sitting here waiting to go look at the car, so I believe we're going to go look at it in the next 20 minutes and just see what we're running into with the car and everything. And once we get down there, I'll hopefully be able to shoot y'all some films, just kind of show you how this car has been sitting and everything. And I'm really hoping I hope it's going to be well worth the drive is what I'm trying to say. I would, because we've been, let's see, I think I want to say it was around 9 hours of driving time. But what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get on out there and we'll see what we got. Hey guys, so we made it back from Florida last night. When I got back, it was around 12:30ish in the morning. What I did is I caught some sleep, and what I wanted to do is I'm going to come out here and I'm going to show y'all a little bit about the car, show you how certain things would have been, just kind of show you exactly what you can expect off of something that's the original way that it was done. And the car, for it been, let's see, it's been sitting since I think it was around 1991 he stuck it in the building and everything, and he put it in there, and it's just sat ever since. He never really did nothing with it. He I talked to the guy, he was 85 years old, and one of the things he was telling me about is when he went to auction to where they was selling these cars, and I got all the paperwork where he bought the car, how much he paid and everything like that, which is kind of unreal. But he said there was about probably 80 or 90 of these cars sitting out there at the time, and he said there was a bunch of North Carolina people that was there buying these cars up, and he was there waiting to get the right one. He said he had done looked at all of them, and he kind of picked out he told me he picked out one of the better ones, and I, like I say, I'm sure there was all decent and some was bad. But what he did is he knew the guy who was putting the auction on. He knew him because he's real big in antique cars. Jim was the guy I bought it from. Well, anyways, he told the auctioneer, he said, hey, I want you to throw this car up at this specific time. So what Jim had done is he waited till the North Carolina people had went to go get him some lunch. He said they went out there and they got him a hot dog and a Coca-Cola. Well, anyways, as they was going to get their hot dog and something to drink, Jim told him to throw this car across the auction block, and he bought it. So what he did is he kind of got the competition off of him, and he was able to pick up the car. And long story short, at the time, he got it back home, and he said he drove it, a few times. But see, he was in Florida, so you get caught driving this, you can get in some major trouble. But anyways, what he did is he bought it, and long story short, one of the main reasons he's bought it is because he's got some buildings with some cars in them, and he wanted one of these to park out front to kind of scare people off, I guess you would say, kind of make people wonder. Which nowadays it wouldn't scare anybody off because I'm sure everybody would ask about it. But he did that, and he said he was out there one day, and it was him and his father. They were out there one day, and a boy came around the curve and seen the car. Well, at the time, he had locked the brakes down thinking that it was still an actual cop. And when he locked the brakes down, he slid off the road and actually hit a tree. So the car actually made somebody wreck. And, you know, Jim was telling me that his dad kind of shamed him for it. So what Jim then did is he said, well, I'm going to stick it in the building and just hold on to it. And the plan is he was never going to actually sell the car, but he just turned 85, and he kind of is getting to a point in life where he's like, well, I can't still fix all of these, you know. And I told him, I said, I understand that, Jim, and I appreciate you giving me a shot at the car. So after he put it in there, it just sat, and you know, since 1991, so that's, let's see, that's well over high 20, about 30 some years, which is pretty crazy, really, if you think about it, because we went down there, and he asked me, he said, you want the car? And I said, yeah, I'd like to buy it. And he said, well, if you don't, it don't bother me, you know. And I was like, well, I said, I'm definitely going to buy the car. So we went ahead and pushed it on out of the building, and we got it loaded up. And what I was going to do was shoot some films down in Florida. But Jim, you know, he didn't really want to be on any type of film or camera or nothing like that, which I can understand. You know, I respect that part of him. And you know, just all in all, it's been a really good trip. I met some really great people, and you know, just getting a car like this, it's getting so hard to come by this stuff. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and stop this film, and I'll start a new one showing y'all the car. Guys, I'm out here with the car now. I'm just going to show y'all a few things about the car. I've been catching a lot of, you know, messages, don't clean it, don't do this, leave it as is. And what my plan is as of this moment is I'd like to just get it running and kind of, you know, I'll leave the other paint over top of the decals and stuff like that, but I'm thinking about washing it up and just get it running so that way, because it's been sitting so long, I feel obligated to get it back up and going. I just feel like that would be the right thing to do. But what I'll go ahead and show y'all is you can see the original decals here where they painted over them when they went to go sell them. And as Jim was telling me when I talked to him about the car, he said when you bought the car, they'd give you two options. And there was very specific about this. It was either you go get the car painted and do away with all of it, or you haul it out of state. So, and Jim being in Florida there, he told me that he wanted to get home, so he had his buddy follow him behind in the rollback to kind of block the car off so that way he could get it home real fast. And once he got it there, he kind of just, like I say, he let it sit for a little bit. He kind of drove it a few times, and then he just stuck it in a barn, you know, just get it away. And I understand where he's coming from, because Florida don't really play when it comes to stuff like this. You can see on the deck lid where they kind of just went a little crazy with the paint, but I understand, you know, at the time this was just a regular car, you know. And let's see here, I'll go ahead and pop open the door here and kind of show you. It's kind of molded up a little bit, you know, from where it's been sitting, but everything on the car is in really nice shape. Somebody threw the spare tire in the back seat here, but I got to put it back in the trunk. As you can see, it's an original 65,000 mile car. I even got the paperwork that they gave him as he bought the car stating that it is the correct mileage. There's your DHSMV tag for the property of, and there's your that, and then there's where they was changing the oil. The car overall is in really nice shape. I can't really complain. These cars weren't really meant to keep in grade A shape. They was meant for one purpose, and it's difficult to find them anymore. You know, as you can tell, she's definitely got plenty of dust on her, but I did slick it out one little spot just to kind of see. And I'll show you another spot on the other side where I did it too. Let's see here, I'll show you all the back here so you can get a good look at that. But it is definitely something you don't see anymore. It's been like I say, a really fun thing to mess with. It does still have Goodyear Eagles on it. You don't really see those too much. You know, you can tell they got dry cracks and everything else in them, but that's just from where he had it sitting. You know, there's nothing I can really do about that. Then once again, you can see the decals where they'd done it. And here's another spot I'd slickened out. just to kind of see what this car looks like underneath all this dust from where it's been sitting. But here is where they put the unit number on it when they went to go sell the car, which is something unusual you don't really see. And I want to show you this other part on here, right here. And I don't know if you can see it, but in like a chalk or something, they wrote, you know, number 108, and then right here it says B number, so I'm assuming bid number 401, which is really neat. You don't see that. A lot of people wiped it right off as soon as they got it. Right there is your unit numbers, 1289. It's really cool to see the original ones on it. And you can see where they took the original, where your Jet Sonic light bar would have went in. You can see where they caulked it up there. Let's see here. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and pop the trunk here for you. Another thing I wanted to point out is usually with the original keys, you can see where they're, I don't know if you can see it there, but it's got the unit number of the car labeled into the keys, and that is on both sets. I don't know if in 85, I know 87 and up, typically I feel like they would have had just a single key, but you can see where they've labeled it at there. Go ahead and pop the trunk here for you. And then you'll see where they've got, you know, I had a 92 model FHP that I had redone, and I'll make sure to throw that in one of the photos here to kind of show y'all one of the other ones I had. But it had tape up here. On this one they put actual big old thick reflectors, which is really neat to see. And of course the spare tire's missing, but I just wanted to show y'all that area. And I don't know, it looks like it would have had, I don't know if you can get a good photo of it, but it looks like maybe the build sheet was laying back here at one point, which I'd love to have had it, but it's one of them things that I'm sure over time it got lost. Right there's for your antennas, your wires, and I got one, but I think it's, I always forget the name of the box, but I got a big box that goes back here for this. And you can see the original ground wires are still on both sides of the car there, which is pretty neat to see. Let me walk around here. A few other things I wanted to show y'all is, let's see here. I don't know if we're going to get a good photo of it or not, but let's see here. There's some of the holes that was in the car, as you can see there. And it had some down here on top of the actual, right there at the shifter plate around it. But there was some holes that came factory after they had, you know, put their equipment in there. And a lot of people's asking me why would it have a tweed seat in it, and right now I'm trying to get in contact of the trooper who drove the car. What that was is actually from what Jim told me, and he talked to the original trooper that drove the car at the auction when he was there to buy it, because he just wanted to hear some information about it. And what they had done is they took the passenger seat out and put some extra radio equipment, is what Jim told me. So what they had done is they had, when it first came in, they took that passenger seat out and put some type of radios down in the floor, which is pretty neat. And I'm trying to get a hold of the original trooper just to get that part down pat so I can figure out what was going on there. And right there is some more reflectors that they had on the door, which is pretty neat to see. Let me close that up. Let's see here. And I'll go ahead and show y'all underneath the hood. You know, everything's there. I can show you the buck tag. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and pop the hood. Let's see here. And you can see, well, it's not cleaned yet from the dust, but you can see where they had took orange paint and went across the hood too. Let's see here. All right. And there she is. You know, it looks like everything is, you know, really nice on the car. Never been in any accidents or nothing like that. Everything's as straight as it can come. And I don't know if you can see it too well, but it has the Florida service package, it says on the buck tag down there, just to show y'all, because that's another thing you can expect out of a true, you know, SSP car. Everything is complete on the car. It's still got all the ground wires on it on both sides there. It's truly been a really fun car to pick up. And I really want to see where something like this heads out, you know, in its direction. It's definitely one of a few, if not one of the most original ones from auction still out there. And that's kind of the condition I want to leave it in. I don't want to do a full restoration because, you know, most of them you see have full restorations, or they're just beat all to pieces from either drag racing or just twisted or wrecked. A lot of these cars didn't really get the chance to go back out into the world and be in this type of condition. So what we'll do now is I'll go ahead and clean it up whenever I get the chance here. I'll get it cleaned up. Hopefully we'll get it back up and running here soon, and I can definitely do a review once she's cleaned up. I know it looks pretty rough with all the dust on it and stuff, but I think underneath, like I say, from the marks I've wiped, I think underneath this is truly a really, really, really nice car, and we'll just see how it goes. So let me go ahead and I'll go ahead and cut this off, and I'll get to cleaning it.